Hello everyone, I'm back with the second part of this tutorial, and as you can see I've done the back, finished one side and onto the second side. So I'm going to show you how to do the second side. You only need to know how to do one side because you just reverse the shaping for the other side. So I'm onto the stitches. Now this is the right front. I will explain the difference in the stitches in the right and the left when I show you how I'm starting this one up. So I'll blow that up a bit. And as I can see, I've done two lots of the rosebud, and I'm onto the this one here again here. And to find out where you're placing that one, that's the line from the center stitch. You just take that up to the stitch on the needle. That's that stitch there, and the next two beside it, you will be knitting two together. So you'll knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches before you start. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to knit 2 together. Bring your yarn forward, knit 1, bring your yarn forward, slip 1 and knit 1 and pass the slip stitch over. Then you're going to knit 5, and again you're going to knit 2 together, bring your yarn forward, knit 1, bring the yarn forward, slip 1, knit 1, pass that slip stitch over, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and your last rosebud, knit 2 together, bring the yarn forward, knit 1, bring the yarn forward again, slip 1, knit 1, pass that slip stitch over and knit the last stitch. And that's your first set, and I'll explain a little bit about the stitches because you don't start the stitches exactly the same on both sides, because I have started this here. This one here I started with 6 and did the rosebud, but this one here I'll have to find where I started on here. This one here I did it the opposite way, where you have the rosebud at the end here, you have it the rosebud at the start, and I just knitted 1 and then did the rosebud. And that's so that you get that is on that side there, so the same one there is on this side here, if you can understand what I mean. And the reason I do that is, this is the back, and that's the rosebud there, the first rosebud there, and when you put that against it, it means you have a space like 1, 2, 3. You have the 2 rosebuds, the space in the middle where the next one goes, and that's why I do that there, because you don't want to have a space here and have a big space there and a big space there. It's going to spoil the effect of the rosebud. So on one side you start with 6 stitches here and do the rosebud, but on the other side you only start with 1 stitch and do the rosebud, and your 6 stitches are at the end. And then you also have, when you come to put the bands on, you've got the rosebud near the edge where the bands go there, and that's what it's all in the instructions for the pattern, which ones to do, where to put the stitches. And so that was one row, and now I'm going to do a purl row, but I'll come back when I've done that purl row. Now for the next row, we're going to knit 8. Bring your wool forward and knit 2 together. Knit another 8. Bring your wool forward, knit those 2 stitches together again. Knit another 8. Bring your wool forward, knit those 2 stitches together, and then knit your last 2 stitches. And that's the second row of the pattern. Now I'm going to knit the 4 rows in stocking stitch, and I'll come back when I've done that. So that's the 4 stocking stitch. Well, it's 5 actually, because after you knit that hole there, you do a purl, and then you do 4 stocking stitch. But we're on to the next rosebud, the same as this one here. So if you don't know, if you're not sure how many stitches, you just go from that center hole there and follow the line up to the needle, and that's your stitch there, that's your center stitch. So you have 2 that you knit 2 together and knit 1. So you start with knit 1, knit 2 together, bring the yarn forward, knit 1, the yarn forward again and slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over. And then you knit 5, and then it's knit 2, yarn forward, knit 1, yarn forward, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, knit 5, it's 5, knit 2, bring the yarn forward, knit 1, yarn forward, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, and then you're going to knit the last 2, 4, 6 stitches. And then I'm going to do a purl row and come back when I've done that row. So that's the purl row knitted. Now I'm going to do the single hole. And for that one, we're going to knit 3 stitches. And we're going to yarn forward, knit 2, then knit 8. Bring the yarn forward, knit 2 together, knit 8, yarn forward, knit 2 together, and then we're going to knit the last 7 stitches. And then I'm going to pause that while you do a purl. And that's how the pattern goes. This is the right side of the cardigan, and then you're going to knit. Well, I knit 50 rows, or it's like it's about 8 1/4 inches. But I knit 50 rows, and then I started the shaping, the casting off stitches on this one. It'll be on the wrong side. So I knit before I started the shaping before I started the rosebud on the last two rows of the knit 4 stocking stitch. And that was the same as I did with that one there, and I casted off 3 stitches after I got the 50 rows, or 8 1/4 inches. That's how many rows took me to 8 1/4 inches. There's 50 rows. So casted off the 3 stitches, went across and came back, and then started the rosebuds. And you can see this one, there is quite a space down there compared to the other, like on the back. It's the way the stitches fall on this. There's not enough stitches over here to do a full one. So the space, so you get a wide space on there, but the other front will be the same. So you just decrease, you cast off 3 stitches, and then knit 3 rows. On the 4th row, you will be knitting 2 together. This is on this one, I knit 1 and slipped 1, knit 1 and passed the slip stitch over on this side. But on the other side, on this one that I'm doing, you'll be knitting 2 together, but it'll be in the instructions what you have to do. And then it's every other row until I think I had 15 stitches left. I'll have to check. As for the left front, it was 325mm needles, cast on 31 stitches, and knit 1 by 1 rib for 10 rows. Then change to 4mm and knit 4 rows. Now there's a knit 4 rows in stocking stitch. That's what I should put there, but it's knitting in stocking stitch. The next row was knit 1, knit 2 together, wool forward, knit 1, wool forward, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 5, pattern to the end of the row. So you repeat that pattern from where the brackets are on there. The next row purl, the next row, just telling you how to do the rosebuds. And so on up to where's the armholes? They continue and pattern to 8 1/4 inches, ending on a purl row. Next row, cast off 3 stitches cast off 3 stitches and knit to end of row. Knit 1 row and purl next row. The next row is knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, pattern to end of row, and decrease on alternate rows until 15 stitches remain. And then you cast off 4 stitches at the neck. You cast off 4 stitches here. At the neck edge, and decrease on every row. I haven't put that in, I'll have to change that. It's you decrease 4 stitches after the cast on stitches on every row, decreasing on alternate rows at the same time, but I'll have to change that on here because I haven't put it on. I'll pause that for they have changed that. Where was it? Cast off 4 stitches at the neck edge and decrease 1 stitch every row at the neck 4 times, still decreasing at armholes on alternate rows until 2 stitches remain. Knit 2 together. And then I've sorted information for the right front. Same as left front, reversing the shaping as well as reversing the pattern. First row of pattern, which I've shown you how to do, knit 6, knit 2 together, wool forward, knit 1, wool forward, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit 5, repeat across row. Where I've got brackets, just repeat what's in the brackets. Next row purl, next row which I've shown you how to do the pattern there, and you have to knit this up to right, for the armholes. Cast off 3 stitches beginning of next row, pattern to end of row, decrease on the 4th and every alternate row until you have 15 stitches. On the right side row, cast off 4 stitches, knit to the end of the row, decrease at neck edge on next 4 rows, and at the same time decrease at armholes on alternate rows until 2 stitches remain. Knit 2 together. And that's all you have to do to finish for the 2 fronts. And I will be back when I start the sleeves. So I will hold this for anyone. Put the thing down, back down again. I'll hold it for anyone that wants to copy it. You can pause the video and write down what's there. The only problem with this Rosebud Lace one is there's quite a lot to write down because of the having to tell the stitches and that. I like the tutorials where I just tell you once how to do something, and that's that page. That's the next page. I think I've included everything. If there's anything I haven't included, I'm sorry. I'm not used to writing down patterns like this. I just sort of know them. That in my head I know how to do them from just looking at what I'm doing. So that's my little bit for this part. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll show you part 3 when I get that done. So bye for now.